Hello, I'm Mike Herron. Welcome to Windows on Spring Hill.
I ain't like my Wall Street brother. He's in a bank so shiny and clean. Well, I'm faded and I'm wrinkled, tattered and stained with sweat. But I'm the first one called when Uncle Sam needs a hand with the national debt.
Hello, I'm Mike Herron, Chairman of UAW Local 1853, and welcome to Windows on Spring Hill. This week I'd like to cover the importance of voting. This November 6th, Tuesday, that's coming up here is a day that has been negotiated for our team members throughout the nation to be off to vote. Voting is very, very crucial, and you hear it all the time that there's a direct connection between the ballot box and the bread box, meaning there's a direct connection between the people that we support or that we don't support and our ability to be able to maintain what we've gained at the bargaining table. Our paychecks, our way of life, our ability to be able to go ahead and represent our workers, our ability to be able to collectively bargain for them, and just the very ability to be able to have a union in this country relies upon having the right candidates that support the working men and women of this country in office. So it was that important to our members and to the leadership of the UAW to make sure that our members got out and voted, that day was voted, or that day was bargained as a day off for all of our members. So please take the time to go out and get your family and friends out to the voting booth and vote. And make sure that you vote for candidates that support working men and women of this country and our ability to be able to make a good standard of living and in working wages. Next, I would like to go ahead and talk about profit sharing. It's been a very good week for profit sharing here with the General Motors Corporation. One of the last things, and this is something a lot of people don't know, but one of the very, very last things to fall or to be agreed to in the 2015 negotiations was our GM UAW profit sharing program for our members, giving our members the ability to be able to share in some of the very profits that they've helped create within General Motors. GM has been making record profits since the point that there was the bankruptcy reorganization. And with this very innovative collective bargaining that was done to make sure that our team members got a piece of that pie, as GM makes profits, our workers are able to go ahead and share in some portion of that. So there was a tremendous amount of energy about whether to put that in the contract or not. And the UAW saw that as being a very, very important feature to make sure that the members that created the profits were able to share in them. So consequently, right up until the 13th hour of the negotiations, that wasn't in it, and I got to credit the international UAW leadership and the bargaining team for taking the steps necessary to make sure that was there. Consequently, what we saw this week was another record profit quarter for General Motors. In fact, after 3 quarters, the profitability numbers should yield our team members approximately $7,500 year to date. So after 3 quarters, we're at $7,500, and we still have the 4th quarter, which will not be announced until February of 2019. So we're certainly looking forward to see what the numbers will be this year, but it ought to be another very healthy profit sharing payment for the team members that are eligible for that profit sharing that will be paid out at the end of February. Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk about here today is pay accuracy. We're having some real problems in terms of making sure that people get paid accurately. They're missing hours on their check for one reason or another, and there's a litany of reasons that that's occurring according to management. The UAW is working closely with management to track down all these issues and make sure our team members are being paid accurately. The new pay system that General Motors has implemented doesn't make that any easier because it's a very difficult and complex system, as you all know. So I would like to ask you to do this, though. If you see any pay inaccuracies, please immediately go to your group leader and demand that be corrected. If you go into the computerized system on Wednesday when the electronic pay stubs are available, you can tell whether there's been approved hours that are not there. Go immediately to the group leader, and if the group leader can't correct it, then you need to go to your area leader. If your area leader can't correct it, go to your shift leader. Get management involved in correcting that, because we expect them to go ahead and correct it. The UAW does not pay people. The elected team members here cannot write checks. But management's got a responsibility for paying each and every one of you accurately. I will also tell you that the national agreement is very clear. And if you take a look at document 126 of the national agreement, it's very clear what happens to pay shortages and how they're supposed to be rectified by the next end of the next working day. So we're trying to make sure that everybody gets paid accurately. Please make sure that you escalate this process as quickly as possible. If you've talked to the group leader, if you've talked to your area leader and you can't get it resolved, then get the UAW committeeman involved immediately, and we'll escalate it through the process and make sure that you get a pay card or that it's in your next paycheck. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that everybody gets paid what they've got coming to them. Okay, the next thing I'd like to go ahead and talk about is your E.O.H list, the equalization of hours list, which determines who gets what overtime. We've done spot audits on those and found out that there's a lot of inaccuracies out there. So I'm going to ask for your help to make sure that you're looking at those lists and making sure that your equalization of hours, your E.O.H list, are being kept up to date by the group leaders. If they're not, we need to know that. And you need to demand from your group leader that the accuracy in those lists is completed. And I've also got the UAW committeemen that are going out there in accordance with the national agreement, and they're doing their audits as well. So again, watch those, make sure they're accurate, because it does determine who gets to come in for what hours of overtime. And then lastly, I'd just like to say God bless each and every one of you and your families. I hope you have an extraordinary weekend. And please go out and vote. It's important to you. It's important to the next generation of UAW worker. It's important that we get out and support candidates. So please take the day that you were negotiated to have off to go out and vote, and please vote. Thank you very much.
Well, they say I'm the root of all evil. I bring lust, power, and greed. But this working man's dollar only buys the things a working man really needs.